Have you ever heard a voice through a baby monitor when nobody else was supposed to be in the house? Not interference, not a stranger hacking the feed, not some glitch in the software. The monitor wasn't connected to the internet. It couldn't receive signals from outside. And yet, for 3 nights, someone spoke to my daughter through it. The worst part, the voice knew things it shouldn't have known. Things only someone inside the house could know. And when I finally discovered where it was coming from, I almost wished I hadn't. When this happened, my daughter Ava was 6 months old. My wife had passed away shortly after Ava's birth. It was just the two of us. People talk about parenthood like it's magical. Sometimes it is. But nobody tells you about the loneliness, the way the nights stretch endlessly, the silence, the exhaustion. I worked from home, barely slept. Every few hours, Ava would wake up crying. I'd stumble down the hallway, rock her back to sleep, then wait for the cycle to begin again. A month earlier, I'd purchased a baby monitor, a modern Wi-Fi enabled model with an app, night vision, motion alerts, two-way audio, everything a nervous parent could want. But after setting it up, I never bothered connecting it to the internet. The app required updates, account registration, permissions. I didn't have the energy. So I used it as a simple closed-circuit monitor. Camera in Ava's nursery. Receiver on my nightstand. Nothing fancy. Nothing connected. Nothing that should have been capable of receiving outside transmissions. The first strange thing happened on a Tuesday night. Looking back, I wish I had ignored it. It was around 2:30 a.m. I woke up because the monitor made a noise. Not crying, not movement, just static. A brief burst, like an old radio searching for a station. I checked the screen. Ava was asleep, peaceful, still. The room looked normal, so I rolled over and went back to sleep. The next night it happened again, static, longer this time, followed by something else, breathing. At first I thought it was Ava, but it wasn't. Parents learn their children's sounds quickly. This breathing was slower, heavier, measured, like someone standing very still, listening. I sat up, turned up the volume. The breathing continued for several seconds, then stopped, abruptly, as if whoever was making it had realized they were being heard. I checked the nursery. Nothing. Just Ava sleeping in her crib. The room was empty, or at least, it appeared empty. I told myself it was exhaustion, stress, grief, but I didn't believe it. Not really. The third night changed everything. I woke up to the sound of whispering, not static, not breathing. A voice, very faint, almost hidden beneath electronic noise. I grabbed the monitor, pressed it against my ear, and listened. At first I couldn't make out the words, then the signal cleared, and I heard it. A man's voice, soft, calm, almost affectionate. Pretty. Every hair on my body stood up. The voice wasn't coming from inside the nursery. It was coming through the monitor, addressing my daughter, observing her. Then another word. Good girl. I set the monitor down. My hand was shaking so badly it rattled against the nightstand. I ran to Ava's room. Nothing. No one. Doors locked. Windows secured. The house completely empty. Except for us. The next day I searched online. Monitor hacking stories, signal interference, software bugs. Anything. But none of it made sense, because my monitor wasn't connected to anything. That night I unplugged it, completely. I even removed the backup battery. Then I went to bed. At 3:14 a.m., the monitor turned itself on. The screen glowed. The speaker hissed, and the voice returned, this time clearer than ever. You look tired. I couldn't move. You should get more sleep.
Get more sleep.
Then a pause, as though it were looking at something, watching, listening. Then it spoke again. She has your wife's eyes. I set the monitor down very slowly. My hands were no longer shaking. They were perfectly still. The way your body goes still when it understands something your mind refuses to accept. Nobody knew that. Nobody should have known that, because nobody else was there. I stayed awake the next night, waiting, watching, listening. 3:14 a.m. arrived, exactly on time. The monitor activated. The voice began speaking before the screen even turned on. Don't come yet. Then silence. Then another sentence. Wait until she falls asleep. I should have unplugged everything. Should have called someone. Should have grabbed Ava and run. Instead, I listened. Because part of me wanted answers, and part of me was terrified I already knew them. Around 3:20, the voice whispered, "Now." I stood up, walked into the hallway, moved toward Ava's room. Every step felt wrong, like I was following instructions I hadn't agreed to follow. The nursery door was open, just slightly. I was certain I'd closed it. I pushed it wider. The room looked normal. Crib, changing table, nightlight. Nothing unusual. Then I noticed the closet. Its door was open too, just a few inches. My heart pounded. I crossed the room, pulled the closet open, and found nothing. No intruder, no hidden person, nothing at all. Then Ava laughed. Behind me, a quiet baby laugh, the kind she made when someone was playing with her, tickling her, making funny faces. I spun around. She was sitting up in our crib, looking toward the corner of the room. Not at me, at something else, something I couldn't see. And then she made a sound. Not a word, just the cooing babble babies make. But she was responding to someone, listening, answering, taking turns. The monitor sitting on the dresser crackled, and the voice said, "She can hear me now."
Hear me now.
The next morning, I took the monitor apart. I wanted proof, evidence, anything that would make this make sense. That's when I discovered something impossible. The Wi-Fi module was missing, not disabled, missing, physically absent. Just an empty slot on the circuit board where it should have been. I contacted the manufacturer, gave them the serial number. They confirmed it after 3 days. According to their records, that monitor had never contained wireless hardware. It was a closed circuit model, completely isolated, unable to receive external transmissions, unable to connect to networks, unable to be hacked. But that wasn't the only thing they told me. The manufacture date on my unit was 2 years after the model was discontinued. The serial number didn't exist in their database, and the customer who had purchased it before me had returned it after her husband died. She said the monitor kept turning itself on, playing lullabies he used to sing, speaking in his voice. The voice had never come from outside. It had been coming from somewhere inside the house, or something inside it. I tried to throw the monitor away, twice. It was back on the dresser the next morning both times. I moved houses 6 months later, left everything behind. Ava is 4 years old now, healthy, happy, safe. At least I think she is. Sometimes when she's playing alone, I'll hear her speaking softly, holding conversations with empty corners, listening carefully, as if someone is answering. Whenever I ask who she's talking to, she gives the same response. Every single time, the man from my room. And sometimes, just before she falls asleep, she looks toward the darkness beside her bed, smiles, and says goodnight. To someone I've never seen, If you enjoyed tonight's story, subscribe to Noctis Whispers and turn on notifications. New tales drop every Thursday at 7 PM Eastern Standard Time. Before you go, look at the baby monitor in your house, or the security camera, or the smart speaker. If it turned on right now and spoke your name, would you be absolutely certain it was just a glitch? Sleep carefully.